Hi, everybody. Welcome back to 1949 for more action. The Yankees are taking on the St. Louis Browns. The Browns at 7-6 are actually playing fairly well for them. Yankees are at 9-4, I think a game out of first place. And Rizzuto hits a ground ball over to Graham at first base. He makes the play, flips over to Ostrowski, the pitcher who's covering for the first out. Here's Tommy Henrich. Henrich comes up there hitting 333, got a couple of home runs, hitting well, and he takes the ball 1-1 the count on him. Now it's 2-1. And that one's fouled away. 2-2 now the count. And there's a ground ball over to Pellagrini, the shortstop, who lets that one go straight through his legs. And that is Pellegrini's sixth error this season. His rating there at shortstop, I believe that's his fielding rating, is fair. We can take a quick look into this because Diamond Mine has a combination of range ratings and normal fielding ratings. Let's take a quick look and see if we can distinguish which one is which. And let's see if we go over here to fielding. And yeah, you can see it's just a fair rating here. So it's actually possible that this is just the fielding rating itself. I thought that there was a range rating. It's possible that I'm getting it confused with either Action PC Baseball, OOTP, or both. At any rate, here comes Cliff Mapes with the runner on first base, and the count on him is 0-2 quickly, and he swings and misses and strikes out. First strikeout for Ostrowski, 2 away. Here's Gene Woodling, who takes the ball. And there's one inside that misses. Another ball, 2-0 now the count on Woodling. And there is a fly ball over to right center field. Nobody's going to get to. That's a single for Woodling, and Henrich moves over to third base. And that brings up Jerry Coleman here, who is sitting on an 11-game hitting streak. He takes a strike and fouls one off. 0-2 the count now on Coleman, and that's a ball to him, 1-2. And there's one down and a 2-2 now the count on Coleman, and that's inside. Full count on him. And there's ball 4 on Coleman, and that loads up the bases. Here comes Hank Bauer. Let's see if the Yankees can punish him for it. First pitch is wide, 1-0 the count. There's a ground ball over to shortstop. Pellagrini actually makes the play this time, throws over for the out, and we go to the bottom of the first, and here's Jerry Pretty up there against Vic Raschi. Pretty takes a strike, 0-1 the count on him, and there's another one in there for a strike, 0-2. That's high, 1-2 the count now on Pretty, and there's a deep drive over to center field, and Mapes is able to make the catch, and if Pretty had pulled that one, as they said, it probably would have been a home run. Dillinger there takes a strike and fouls one back, 0-2 the count on him. There's a ball to him, 1-2. And there is another foul ball, 1-2 still. And here is the next pitch, and that is plunked into right field in front of Hank Bauer for a base hit. Here comes Jack Graham with the runner on first base. Let's send Dillinger. And there's one popped out over to Rizzuto, the shortstop, for the second out. And here comes Les Moss. So much for sending him. Moss takes a strike, 0-1 the count on the catcher. And there's another strike in there. It's 0-2, just like that. That's a breaking ball outside, and it's 1-2 now the count. And there was one low, 2-2. And that one's popped up, and Mapes has got that one over in center field for the third out. We go to the top of the second inning, and here is Yogi Berra, who's hitting .214, not hitting well at all so far in this one. 1-1 is the count there on Yogi, and that's outside for a ball, 2-1 now, and he pops one up, and Severs, the center fielder, has that for the first out. Here is Bobby Brown hitting even worse, hitting 136. Some guys hitting well, sometimes guys hitting pretty poorly. 2-1 is the count on Brown. That one's hit on a line over to center field in front of Kokos for the base hit. And here comes Vic Raschi now. The pitcher up there, and he tries to bunt, and that's foul. And the second bunt is good, and that will bunt Brown over to second base as Ostrowski makes the play over to first. And there's 2 away here, and here's Phil Rizzuto, Scooter up there. Fouls the first one off, 0-1 the count, and fouls another one off. It's 0-2 on Phil. And he fouls another one back, and that was inside. 1-2 now the count. There's a ground ball over to Pretty. The second baseman makes the play, throws over to first for the out, and we go to the bottom of the second. Here's Whitey Platt. There's a ball inside to Platt, and another one inside, 2-0 the count on him. Raschi misses again, 3-1 the count, and Platt able to stay alive by fouling that one off. There's one down Broadway, full count now, and that was fouled off again. And that's blooped into right center field, and that one ends up falling right in front of Hank Bauer for a base hit. And here comes Roy Severs. So, again, the Browns playing fairly well, and Raschi, what does he do as Severs steps in there? He uncorks one that goes way past Berra over to the backstop. That allows Platt to move up to second base, and now there's a runner on second base here in the bottom of the second, and then the pitch there is into Severs is hit over to Jerry Coleman, the second baseman, throws to first for the out, and Platt moves over to third. Here's Pellagrini trying to recover, from that air. He hits a fly ball over to Hank Bauer for with the first pitch. And let's see if we can score here. And Platt is able to score, and it's a 1-0 game for the Browns. And no matter how good or how bad a team is, you never know who's going to win any given game. I mean, the real-life St. Louis Browns in 1949 were pretty bad. But so far in this one, they have been playing fairly well. Pellagrini making up for his miscue in the first, it wasn't the first inning, that nearly led to a Yankee scoring opportunity. And up comes Dick Kokos, who swings at the first pitch and lines a base hit. And here comes Joe Ostrowski. 1-0 Browns, and we're not going to do anything with Kokos. They can throw to first all they want. 1-0 the count on Joe. Still 1-0. And there's one high and tight, 2-0 now the count on him. And there's ball three, and Rashi's about to totally lose it here, and we're going to have the pitcher take one. Ostrowski takes a strike, the count 3-1. We'll have him take another one, and that one was too high, and that's a walk, and that's not a good sign. Here comes Jerry Pretty again, and this game could very well start falling apart for the Yankees here really early. And just as I said, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen in any given game, no matter how strong or how weak a team appears to be on paper. I mean, crazy stuff happens. Whenever you're playing these replays, you get this sort of thing happening. One of the great joys of playing a replay is the fact that you don't really know what's going to happen. You don't really know what to expect for any given game, and so you get some of this totally crazy stuff that happens from game to game, even if the overall stats look good. 0-2 is the count on Jerry Pretty now, and he fouls another one off. 0-2 still. That's no one's high. 1-2 now the pitch. And there's strike 3 on the inside edge, and we go to the top of the third. 1-0 Browns. Boy, I wasn't expecting to say that. Here's Tommy Henrich, and he takes a strike and a ball. 1-1 the count on him, and there's a strike to him again. 1-2, and there's one that's lined over short. That's over Pellegrini's head, and so much for his range, huh? Here comes Cliff Mapes with a runner on first base, nobody out, top of the third. 1-0 Browns. The count on Mapes is 0-1. He hits a little fly ball over to Severson in center for the first out. Here's Woodling, who then hits a base hit up the middle and into center. Henrich is going to try for third. We're going to try to throw him out. And unfortunately, the throw is not a particularly good one. Henrich ends up safe at third. Woodling is at first. Here's Jerry Coleman with a chance to do something. And we need a double play here. We're going to give up the run if we have to try to get this double play. And there's a little ground ball to shortstop, and we're going to go for the double play. Pellagrini to second for one, on to first for the double play. We go to the bottom of the third inning, still 1-0 Browns. And here's Dillinger up there, takes a ball, 1-0 the count. And there's a fly ball over to center field. Mapes has it for the out, one away. Here's Jack Graham. And there's one low and inside for a ball. And there's one that's outside, 2-0 now the count on Graham. And there's one pop down the left field line, and Rizzuto runs all the way over there and makes a catch. What a spectacular play. Rizzuto, who's at the shortstop, runs all the way over. I don't know what Bobby Brown is doing, and makes an absolutely amazing catch on this play. And, I love these great plays in the game just as much as I love the awful plays. We love to collect them and think about them and bring them up when the time is appropriate on the blog. So there are 2 outs here now in the bottom of the third inning. Here's Les Moss. It's a little ground ball over to Phil Rizzuto, and Rizzuto is able to make that one look easy. And we go to the top of the fourth, and there is a ground ball to Pretty by Hank Bauer. The second baseman ends up kicking that one. It's a base hit for Bauer is how they're going to rule that, and here is Yogi Berra. There's a ground ball up the middle. Pellagrini goes over to Pretty for one, but they can't double up Berra, so we have 1 out here in the top of the fourth, and here is Bobby Brown. 1 out, still 1-0 Browns. The count on Brown is 2-0, and Berra tries to steal and is thrown out trying to steal. Berra had 2 stolen bases and 1 caught stealing in the year. Was that a hit and run that they attempted? Yes, Brown swung and missed at that pitch, and so that didn't work. 2 outs now, and nobody on, and Bobby Brown hits a home run just like that. Kiss that one goodbye, and that's a brand new ball game now. 1-1 as Bobby Brown, of all people, ends up hitting a solo home run. And boy, this has been pretty wild, hasn't it? Why did you try? Why did you try to steal with Yogi Berra if Bobby Brown was going to hit a home run? Bobby Brown in real life had 6 home runs, so I mean it's definitely within the realm of possibility. There's ball 1 here to Vic Raschi, and then he fouls one away. 1-1 the count, and there's another ball to him, 2-1. That one's way high for another ball, 3-1 now, and there's a strike, and it's a full count on him. There's a ground ball over to Pretty, the second baseman. He makes the close play over at first for the out, and we go to the bottom of the fourth, 1-1 ball game. Here's Whitey Platt. Whitey takes a ball, and there's one that's fouled off the screen, 1-1 now. And there's a ground ball over to third base, and of course it's there Bobby Brown, who is the hero of the moment for the Yankees, who makes a play to first, one away. And here's Roy Sievers, and he fouls one away, 0-2, and takes a ball. 1-2 now is the count on him, and another foul ball. And there's a check swing, and that's ruled a strike 3, and that's the second out. Pellagrini up there, and he takes a ball, 1-1 now the count, and there's a strike to him, 1-2, and there's a ball, 2-2 now the count on Pellagrini, and that's a fastball inside, full count on him now. And there's a little hanging breaking ball hit over to Mapes in center field. Cliff can't quite get there in time. That's a base hit, and that brings up Dick Kokos, who was on left field watching that home run go over his head. I bet he'd like to get one of his own. A ball to him, 1-0 the count. That's inside, and it's 2-0. 2-0 the count on Kokos, and there's one that bounces off the plate, now almost a wild pitch, and that's ball 3. We're going to have him take this one, and he does. And there's a walk, and that brings up Ostrowski with runners on first and second, and 2 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning, 1-1 game. There's a little ground ball over to Henrik at first base. He does it by himself. We go to the top of the 5th, and here comes the scooter. There's a ball to him, 1-0 the count on Phil. Fouls one off, and it's 1-1, and there's a little ground ball over to Pellegrini, who throws to first for the out, 1 away, and here comes Henrik. And Henrik takes a ball as Ostrowski almost falls off the mound, and there's one fouled back. 1-1 now the count. 2-1 as that one was inside, but just missed him. 3-1 now, and there's a fly ball over to Platt in left field for the second out. And here is Cliff Mapes. Cliff Mapes, one of the blog heroes. Cliff Mapes looks at another strike, 0-2 the count. Mapes hitting .327. Hasn't hit anything today. 1-2 the count on him now, and Ostrowski strikes him out looking, and we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's Jerry Pretty. This is an exciting game. Pretty takes a ball, and a little chopper over to Phil Rizzuto at short, and Rizzuto makes the play easily, throws the first for the out, 1 away. Here's Bob Dillinger. There's a fastball low, 1-0 the count, and there's a curveball that's too high, 2-0. Fastball in there for a strike, 2-1. There's a ground ball to Rizzuto, who makes the play, throws him out. Rizzuto, the vacuum cleaner over there. And there is a pop-up over to center field, and Mapes has it for the out. And this is kind of a weird example of play-by-play. I guess we'll look into this as a form of humor, I suppose, since that was a 370-foot pop-up, I guess. But I could see it happening. Whatever. And we'll move along here to the top of the 6th. Here's Gene Woodling, who takes a strike, 0-1 the count on him. There's another one down the pipe, and it's 0-2 just like that. And there's a liner over to the right side, but Coco's able to get that, no problem. The right fielder, not much of a liner. Here's Jerry Coleman now, 1-0 the count, and he hits the little comebacker to Ostrowski, throws to first for the out. There's 2 away, and here's Hank Bauer. And there's a ball to Bauer, 1-0 the pitch. And there's a ground ball over to Dillinger. The third baseman throws to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, still 1-1. Not much offense in this one as Moss takes the strike, and then a ball, 1-1 the count, and he swings and misses at 1. It's 1-2. There's a blast to right center field, and Mapes goes over and grabs that one for the out, 1 away, and here's Whitey Platt. And there is a strike high somewhat, and there's a ball, 1-1 the count, and 2-1 as Raschi just misses with that one. Little ground ball over to Henrik, the first baseman. He grabs that one waist high, runs over to first for the out. There's 2 away. Here's Roy Sievers, who takes a strike and then fouls one back, 0-2 now. There's one outside, 1-2 the count on Roy. There's a fastball inside, 2-2 now the pitch, and fouls one off. It's still 2-2. And that one's outside, and Sievers swings and misses for strike 3. We go to the top of the 7th inning. And Ostrowski's still out there and pitching well. He throws a ball there to Yogi. Another ball, 2-0 the count. And there's a strike, 2-1 now the count. Ground ball over to first base to Graham, who flips over to Ostrowski for the first out. That does it for Berra. And here's Bobby Brown. Fouls one back, 0-1 now the count on him. And 1-1 as he takes the ball. There's a ground ball over to Pretty, right back past the mound. The second baseman throws to first for the out, 2 away. And here's Vic Raschi. And Ostrowski misses high, 1-0 the count now on Vic, and there's one that's fouled back, 1-1 now the count. The pitch comes in, that one's fouled off his foot, 1-2, and there's one chin high, 2-2 now the count on Raschi. And there's a little ground ball over to Graham, who flips over to Ostrowski again. We just had that play, and we go to the bottom of the 7th, and here's Eddie Pellagrini. And there's a ball in there to him. We're actually having a few control problems today, 2 walks, 1-1 the count now. There's a hit over to Mapes, the center fielder, who takes a one in stride, and there's one away. Here's Dick Kokos, and he takes a fastball high, 1-0 the count, and there's a strike to him, 1-1 now. And that is a fast one in there, too high, 2-1. He fouls one off and is 2-2. And boy, that was a bad pitch over, and Barra was crossed up on that one, full count now, and there's a fastball down and in. And here comes Ostrowski as Kokos walks, and this might end up being a key moment of this game. Let's see if we can bunt here with Ostrowski. The question is, what do we do? Do we swing away? Do we bunt? Do we pinch hit for him? What would you do in this situation? I mean, you can always let me know below what you're thinking. My thought here is that we want to bunt. Let's try to bunt, and let's try to get the top of the order up. Now, nobody's been hitting. We only have 4 hits in this game, but let's see what happens if we bunt. And so the corners are in, looking for the bunt. Ostrowski lets one go by for a strike. Learn how to bunt. We'll try it again. And Kokos is back safely on that throw to first. And there's one fouled in the dirt, strike 2. We're going to try one more time. The sacrifice is on, and that one goes over to the right side. And, man, that's a bad play, isn't it? Look at that. So Ostrowski might have beaten that one out, but he had no real interest in running the bases there, which is a pretty bad play. There's a lot of this that happens here where you'll get somewhat almost passive-aggressive play-by-play from time to time. And Ostrowski just not really much of a runner. I mean, he's in there really for only one reason. But the bunt is down, and it is good. And here comes Jerry Pretty. He's over 3 today with the chance to drive in a run. Unfortunately for us, though, Pretty ends up just flying out over to right field right away to Hank Bauer. And it makes you kind of want to forget about the whole thing. But it was a good thought, right? And it's always the thought that counts, right? I mean, that's what your wife tells you every time you buy her a Christmas present, right? It's the thought that counts. And we'll go here to the top of the 8th inning. Phil Rizzuto going to start this one off here for the Yankees. And let's see if Ostrowski can get him out again. Over 3 for the Scooter today. 1-1 the count on him now. And there's one hit over to right field, and Kokos has it for the out. One away. Here's Tommy Henrik, and he lines one over to right center field, and Seaver's able to cut that one off and hold him to a single. Run on first base, and here's Cliff Mapes. Mapes takes one high, and that's a ball, 1-0 the count. And there's one popped up, and Moss just not able to get there in time. 1-1. That's inside. 2-1 the count now on Mapes, and there's a swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. That's outside, and it's a full count. And check swing, and Mapes just gets a little piece of it, stays alive. And there's a little bouncer that was, they say that's off the plate. It might have hit off the plate, but they call that one a fair ball anyway. And Ostrowski's able to throw over to first for the out. 2 outs now. Here comes Gene Woodling, and they're going to take him out for Gus Nierhos. Interesting managerial decision. 1-1 the count on Nierhos, and it's 1-2 is where Ostrowski able to get a strike in there. And there's one that's just fouled on the left field line, just misses being a home run. That's hit over to Platt in left field, and that will do it. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's Bob Dillinger, 1-1 ball game. And I don't know what the last time was that St. Louis had a hit, but Dillinger gets a little ground ball over to Jerry Coleman, throws to first for the out. And here's Jack Graham, takes a strike, and then takes a ball, 1-1 the count. And there's one off the inside corner, 2-1. And there's a little ground ball that goes right back to Rashi, who grabs it, throws to first for the out, 2 away. And here's Les Moss. There's a strike in there to Moss, 0-1, and there's a ball to him, 1-1 the count now. And then there's a foul ball, 1-2. And there's a base hit over to the left side. Moss able to get that one right in through that hole, and that brings up Whitey Platt. But with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th, I'm not sure if anything's going to happen. At least the Browns have shown they can hit the ball. And Platt gets a little looper down the left field line for a base hit, and Moss, the catcher, is able to hustle all the way over to third base, and that's going to bring up none other than Roy Sievers. Runners on first and third with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. This might wind up being the best chance that St. Louis has to win this game. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here as Sievers gets up there. Sievers hitting .228. .306 was his average in real life, so he has the card to do it, but instead he hits a ground ball over to Rizzuto, who flips over to Coleman for the out, and that does it. We go to the top of the ninth inning. Another one of those sort of disappointing type performances. I think that we've had a lot of them. I've had a lot of them in a number of the games that I've played here today. Happy to enjoy these moments of sadness and sorrow with you as we kind of hope that this game will end at a reasonable time. And we go to the top of the ninth inning, and here's Jerry Coleman, and the count to him now is 2-0 as Ostrowski suddenly can't find the plate, and one pitch is fouled off and out of play. Coleman ends up getting a base hit over to center field, and he's got a 12-game hitting streak. Ground ball over to Pretty. Flips to Pellagrini for one. Throw over to Graham is in the dirt. Can't quite make the double play. That means that Bauer is on at first base. Here's Yogi Berra, who fouls one off. 0-1 the count on him. Now it's 1-1. And there's a ball outside, 2-1 now the count on Berra, and there's another base hit, and that's a looping liner to right field. And the Yankees have something going here in the top of the ninth inning, runners on first and second, and Yogi Berra getting his first hit of the game. And that is hit number 9 here for the Yankees. And the question here is whether Ostrowski still has it in him or not. Now, I know that the Browns have quite a few pitchers available in the bullpen, so there are options that we have, but it's not a question of quantity, it's a question of quality. Bill Johnson is going to be the pinch hitter here for Brown. He takes a strike, 0-1, and he swings and misses and is 0-2, fouls one off, still 0-2, and there's a pop-up, and Dillinger and Pellagrini go for it, but they can't get it. It's just into the stands, and there's one that is ripped to the gap in left field, and that one falls in for a base hit. And boy, that's hard luck. Hard luck for Joe Ostrowski, who's pitched and played so well in this one. And I'm kind of debating whether to leave him in and give him another chance or not. Johnson gets the clutch base hit as a pinch hitter, and that was right after almost fouling one off and almost being put out on that. And, I mean, we can take a look here. As I told you, there are 13 pitchers in total, and we have our choice from 11, well, 10 of them because we have one starting. And, I mean, we can put any of these guys in, Malloy, Mettinger, Savage, Shore, and look at, what they can do. We probably would put in Malloy in this situation, since we want to try to play to win. So let's go ahead and put in Bob Malloy, and let's see if he can get the final out. We'll play the infield in at the corners. Here's Vic Raschi here, who's going to stay in this game, and there's a strike to him, 0-1 the count. There's a ball, 1-1 now the count, and there's ball 2 to Raschi's, 2-1. There's a ground ball into the hole and into right field for a base hit, and Johnson is going to go here for third base. We're going to throw it to third, and he is safe on that play, and that scores a second run. That's the insurance run that you need, and Vic Raschi, of course, able to stay into this game. He's 1 for 3 today with our RBI, and this is one of those other things, by the way, and I didn't really bring this up, but, when we have designated hitters in baseball, we don't have this question anymore about, whether you want to keep the effective pitcher in or actually pinch hit for him. If Rizzuto hits a line drive, a screamer over to Pellagrini, who grabs it for the out, that's 2 away, and here's Tommy Henrich. And there's one below the kneecaps to Henrich, 1-0, and that's 2-0 now. 0 for 5 for the Scooter today, 2-1 the count on Henrich. And there's one inside for a ball, 3-1 now the count. That's fouled back, and it's a full count on him. And Henrich drives that one over to right field, and Kokos goes over, his back to the wall, makes the catch, and that does it. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. Here's Pellagrini. Pellagrini with 1 hit today, 1 for 2, and he takes a strike, 1-1 now the count. And there's a pop-up foul, 1-2. There's a fastball inside, 2-2 now the count. There's a bouncer up the middle for a hit, so 2 hits in the day for Pellagrini. That brings up Dick Kokos, and I think I'm trying to decide what to do. I think we're just going to swing away. There's a ball to him, 1-0, and there's a ground ball into the hole on the right side, and that's through for a base hit, and we are not going to test Hank Bauer's arm because we're down by 2. And what we need to have these 2 guys on. And I thought for a little moment there, the reason why I hesitated is because I was thinking about potentially putting a hit and run play on. I decided not to, looking at Berra's throwing rating and looking at the infield ratings here. There's so many things that can go wrong playing against this Yankee team. I figure that we'll just take whatever they give us, and that ended up being the correct strategy that worked. And here comes Bob Malloy, who's pitched well so far, and we're going to take him out. We're going to do our little trick to take advantage of the lefty-righty system that's in this game. Take a look here and see who we can put in. I don't want to put in Lawler, who I'm going to need to actually start as a catcher. I don't want to make him too tired. And so we're going to put in Paul Lehner. And he is the pinch hitter here in the bottom of the ninth inning with runners on first and second. There's a strike to him, 0-1 the count. There's a ground ball over to third base. Johnson steps on the bag for one, throws to first for the double play. Another double play in this one. I've told you before, this 1949 season with Diamond Mine has too many double plays in it, and there have been complaints about this, and you're seeing this happen live. So there's two away here now in the bottom of the ninth inning with the runner on first base, and the potential tying run is up, and Jerry Pretty, runner on second base rather. He belts one into the alley in left field for a base hit, ends up on second base himself, and that's the first hit of the game for Pretty. Couldn't have come at a better time, and now it is a 3-2 game as the Browns are starting to rally, and it could happen. You never know. So the Browns go most of this game without really any sort of challenge or any sort of offense at all. They score once in the second, and then they allow the Yankees to score in the fourth, and then it looked like the Yankees were going to sort of dominate it, and all of a sudden the bats come alive here in the ninth inning. Now the score's 3-2, and here's Bob Dillinger with a runner on second base but 2 outs, and let's see what Bob can do. And the first pitch is off the plate, 1-0 the count. And there's one foul back, 1-1. Is Rashi still in there? There's one that's popped back, and that's just out of play, 1-2 now the count. And there's a ground ball over to third base, and Johnson, the third baseman, goes and grabs that one and throws over to first base for the out. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all that she wrote. The Browns, with the big ninth inning comeback attempt, just fall short. And this was an exciting game. This was one that I'm happy to have played through, but it's kind of a sad ending there for the Browns, who end up with 2 runs on their 9 hits. They had 4 hits for the vast majority of this game. And that base hit that was the difference was that base hit by Vic Rashi, who ends up with the complete game. And that's also good, as you know, for the Yankee bullpen, who, as you can see here, doesn't have a whole lot of men in it. And so the rest of the bullpen able to take another day off of to rest instead of having to pitch every single day. We'll see what happens with that. We will keep an eye on that, and I will see you tomorrow with another fun game. We'll see you then. Bye.